This is Fox 25 Sports.
Breaking news coming out tonight, Russell Westbrook is reportedly being traded from the Rockets to the Wizards in exchange for John Wall and a first-round draft pick. This comes after Westbrook and James Harden both reportedly had concerns about staying in Houston following the departures of head coach Mike D'Antoni and general manager Daryl Morey. Well, third time wasn't a charm, but the fourth was. Of course, I'm talking about the Ravens-Steelers game. It was originally scheduled for Thanksgiving night, but due to positive COVID-19 tests out of Baltimore, the game was moved to Sunday. Then it was postponed 2 more times, and finally, it was played today. With Lamar Jackson testing positive in this one, the Ravens turned to Robert Griffin III, just his second start since 2016. And there was some rust. Here in the first, RG3's pass is intercepted by Joe Hayden. He runs it in to complete the pick 6. The PAT was no good, though, so that gives Baltimore a chance to top them, and they do. Gus Edwards takes the handoff up the gut and into the end zone for the TD. The Steelers would have the lead at halftime, and they add to it shortly into the third. Ben Roethlisberger to Juju Smith-Schuster for the short score. That makes it 19-7. Then late fourth quarter, that's not good. Same score, but Griffin sidelined with a leg injury. Trace McSorley steps in to replace him. He would connect here with Hollywood Brown. He does what he does best, breaks free and takes it to the house for the 70-yard TD. That cuts it to 19-14, but the Steelers hang on to move to 11-0 on the year.
We just wanted to prove we was top dog. We the best defense in the Big 12.
A big statement by Oklahoma defensive end Ronnie Perkins following the Sooners' Bedlam win, a game in which they held Oklahoma State to just 78 yards. Now, after an unexpected bye week, OU looks to continue growing that defensive power even more. Although Baylor isn't the same team they faced in 2 dogfights against last year, including the Big 12 championship game, the Bears still have a lot of experienced offensive weapons that can do some damage. So the Sooners will have their work cut out for them. But as you just heard, Perkins thinks OU has the best defense in the Big 12, which isn't completely false. There is some truth to his statement. The Sooners rank second in defense behind West Virginia, but they do rank at the top of the conference in both sacks and rush defense. And talking with Isaiah Thomas, he agrees with Perkins and says it's time they get some respect on that side of the ball.
Throughout the whole season, you see that our defense has really been putting up numbers and really have been stopping offenses. You know, we hear the narrative going into games every week on what this offense is capable of, on what they can do. Then our defense proves that we're something to be talked about as well. And the things that we've been doing with the TFLs, the takeaways, the sacks, and up front with the defensive force that we bring, I feel like it's time that we earn that title and get that respect that we deserve. And obviously it wasn't given. It's a lot of hard work put into that. But I definitely feel like Ronnie is right on point with that.
As for the Pokes, they play the rest of their regular season games on the road. The first stop is in Fort Worth to take on the Horned Frogs. After giving up just 48 points in their first 4 games of the season, Oklahoma State has allowed 119 in 3 of their last 4 contests. It's more than this veteran-heavy unit would prefer, but it's not getting them down. They're still confident in their scheme.
Confidence is still high. I think, if anything, we're just really hungry. A lot of guys are, just ready to get back out there and get back to that, defense from, maybe Tulsa or the West Virginia defense, or, when we were holding guys to 20 or less. I think guys were just really anxious to get back to, our offense coming up and telling us to, and y'all keep stopping them. We're going to score. We're going to score. We want to be able to control games as a defense. And like you said, the past 2 games, I don't think we've done that. But I think, we're ready to get back to doing that. And hopefully this week we can get back to controlling games as a defense.
Barring any COVID issues, the Oklahoma men's basketball team will finally open up its season tomorrow night inside Lloyd Noble Center. The Sooners playing host to UTSA, and although the lineup is uncertain and pending on COVID test results, here's a good chance at what the starting 5 may look like. Of course, a lot of familiar faces here who all started at least one game last year. We have guard Davion Harmon, a great game manager that can shoot well from the perimeter. We have guard Alondis Williams. He didn't get a ton of starts last year, but he made a big impact off the bench for the Sooners, from flashy dunks to draining three-pointers and playing solid defense. He's definitely a difference maker for OU. And then, of course, you have fellow seniors Austin Reeves and Brady Manick. They combined for 70% of the Sooners scoring last season. As for who could be filling the starting role left behind by Christian Doolittle, that would be Kerqueth. He had only one start last season, but is said to be the guy that has been stepping up this year. At 6'10", he's a big body and is known for his shot blocking ability, averaging nearly 6 blocks per 40 minutes of play, which ranks second in Division I. Now, while this could be the starting 5 tomorrow, with having so many guys out due to positive COVID tests and contact tracing, Lon Kruger says don't be surprised if you see him using their depth to his advantage.
We have 9 guys, I think, available, scholarship guys. So we'll play them all. We'll play them all. They've all practiced hard. They've done a good job in practice. We'll see how it goes. And the guys that play their minutes well, we'll get back in there. And but again, we need, from a depth standpoint, especially being a first game, conditioning-wise, we've not been practicing full speed for a while. So everything's a little bit up in the air.
The Sooners tip off against the Roadrunners tomorrow night at 7.